Hey everybody, Grandmaster Ben Finegold here with another 5 Minutes with Ben. I'm Ben, and today we're going to look at a game that was played in a rapid event in Zürich in 2009 between Kramnik and Karpov. In 2009, Kramnik and Karpov were pretty good, but Karpov wasn't really at his peak. Let's see, he was born in 1931. No, he was born in 1951. I was close. So he was 58 years old during this game. So he was maybe 20 years past his prime. And I guess you can tell by the game. Okay, Kramnik, after this game, surprisingly, did not accuse his opponent of cheating. Although it's not really surprising once you see the game. Okay, Kramnik had white. They played a Catalan, which is very common opening. Kramnik has had white and black in the Catalan, just not at the same time. Okay, they get this very, very theoretical position. This is the main line of the Catalan. White can also play a4 here. That's also one of the main lines. Played queen takes, b5, queen goes back, bishop goes to b7. And then Kramnik introduced this move a few years previous to this game. It wasn't played a lot until Kramnik played it. And that move is bishop d2. And one thing this does is if black tries to play bishop e4 and repeat, our queen can go to c1. Then if black goes back, obviously they can play a grandmaster draw by playing queen c2, and probably some grandmasters would. But that's not what happened in this game. Black played bishop d6. White played bishop to g5, pinning the knight. Notice white just played bishop d2 and bishop g5. That's because the bishop isn't on e7 anymore, so this pin actually makes some sense now. Knight bd7, knight bd2, and Karpov tried to play c5. Not only did he try to play it, he did play it. Okay, now there's some overworked going on here. We have the knight defending this knight, we have the knight defending the pawn, and this pawn is attacked twice and defended twice. So something's got to give. So Kramnik found an excellent move, which gives him an advantage. Probably c5 is just a bad move. But this is a rapid game, so I'll give him a break. Kramnik played bishop takes f6. Okay, so clearly if black takes with the knight, then this pawn's just hanging, and I'm going to play b4 and back it up if you play something like rook c8. White's just up a pawn, and it's a protected pass pawn. So Karpov doesn't want to take with the knight. Karpov didn't want to take with the pawn, but the engine does. And that's why Kramnik played bishop takes f6, because g takes f6 is the correct response. And Karpov didn't want to mess his king up like that. But you know what they say, you got to do what you got to do. After g takes f6, white still has an advantage, but white's not winning. Karpov tried to have his cake and eat it too. Played queen takes f6. So he doesn't mess up his pawns, and his pawn on c5 is sufficiently defended. Okay, now Kramnik said, "Excuse me while I whip this out," and he's 6'5", so the audience screamed, but then he just played knight e5. Okay, knight e5 has a discovered attack on the bishop, and it also attacks the knight, forking the queen and rook. Okay, and black has to play bishop takes g2, white plays the Zwischenzug, knight takes d7. And unfortunately for Karpov, if he plays the normal move, queen d8, hoping for king g2, queen d7 with an equal position, white takes on f8, black takes on f1, and white has two ways to win here. White can play queen takes h7 check, and then take on f1, and then play knight f3, and the engine says white is up 2.5. Which is a winning advantage. Okay, even better than queen h7, although I don't know if Kramnik would have played queen h7 or the other move. The other move is knight takes e6. This threatens the queen, so we take on f1, they take on d4, materials equal, queen e4, and the engine says white's up 2.8. So even though materials equal, terrible pawn structure, this knight is great, my rook can go to the open line, this king can get exposed easily. A pawn is weak. All of black's pawns are weak. So this is a great position for white. Karpov understood that if he played queen d8, he would be losing, so he tried to play for tricks. But since Karpov was 58, he didn't realize tricks are for kids. He played queen takes d4, and after king takes g2, white's up a piece, but Karpov was hoping to trap the knight with rook fd8. And he's like, where's your knight going to go? If your knight goes here, it's still trapped. I can attack it with bishop c7 or rook b8, and your knight's still trapped. Then that would be fine for black. Unfortunately, Kramnik has the move knight f3. And the problem that black has, black needs to defend d4. E5. I almost knew what the square was called. Because if black doesn't defend e5, white's knight can escape. For example, queen g4 or queen b4, I play knight e5 and I'm a piece up. So the only move to consider which stops knight e5 is queen d5, and that walks into a fork. Then you lose your rook in the corner. So in this position, since black's a piece down and black can't get his piece back, Karpov resigned, losing in only 17 moves to Kramnik. In 2009, Kramnik was good. Now he's crazy like Fox News. Thanks for watching 5 Minutes with Ben. Please leave a comment and like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on more 5 Minutes with Ben. Bye.